Thank you for taking some time for yourself. And if you can close your eyes, take a tender breath in and a relaxing breath out. And I trust you can make yourself physically comfortable as you begin this relaxing experience. And before you connect to your sweet spot of deep relaxation, I wonder if you can focus on your internal world, chest rising and falling, breathing in and breathing out into this experience. And there are things in your external world, the sounds of traffic in the distance, life's demands, baloney out there, and I don't know the last time you got to leave all that nonsense out there to spend some quality time here, caring for yourself. And I'm curious if you can get a little more comfortable now. Arms, legs stretch out. Relax. Shoulders relaxing. Muscles in your face. Relax. Perfect. And maybe you are aware at the core of ancient cultures there was an insight into the law of light, a metaphysical vision, an intuitive gnosis, a collective, a heartfelt intelligence of the community living in harmony with the cosmic machine of life. And here you are, radiating with light, generating your own electrical power, heat. Everything you can see on Earth itself is because that plant or animal was capable of capturing sunlight and storing it in its own unique way. But the truth is, everything here and now came from remnants of the sun, 1 million miles away, and that star exploded and spewed out everything it had. Things cooled down, slowed down. Gravity formed a pool of energy, condensing light, hydrogen, helium, carbon dioxide. and space spores and seeds of every kind blown here, floating on solar winds. You are a star, made of star stuff. That's how special you are. No one else has your wisdom, life experience, and no one ever will until the end of time. Thank you for being here. You make the world a better place. And in the past you've been experiencing climate change anxiety, eco-anxiety, or eco-distress. Or maybe when you hear bad things about the planet, climate change, environment, you feel burnt out, worn out. And the good news is, it's got nothing to do with you. There's a process to it. And in a moment, I'm going to share with you a few stories, and at first, you might be thinking, why am I sharing with you these stories? But your subconscious mind will be listening and do something wonderful for you a little later on. And each year birthdays come and go, Christmas, Easter, and in many large organisations, fixed dates, important meetings, large complex projects, dates can't be changed. And in a perfect world scenario, everything will be delivered on time, within budget. But you and I both know you can never change the date of Christmas, but you can change the amount of food served, recipes, who you should or shouldn't invite, if Christmas will be at yours or at someone else's, to buy frozen puddings or fresh. And you just somehow work backwards in time, thinking of all those you love, and what you love about festivity. And there was once a time we all wanted to wear everything our friends were wearing, matching school bags, or footballs or toy dolls. We would decide pinks for girls or blues for boys or something else. And there was once a time we were told to eat our dinner, or we weren't allowed to have dessert. And here you are. You can eat whatever your heart desires now. You can wear whatever you want. And back then, you didn't know just how many flavors, clothes and toys you would fall in love with along the way. And there is a part of you always doing what you love on some level. And you've slowed down your breathing, heart rate, blood pressure, without me asking that of you. That's how special you are. And you are emotionally grounded. Empathetic to nature, animals, and you have learned this skill, empathy, which is essential to create social bonds. That is how trustworthy you are. Recently on LinkedIn, I saw a post from the UK Ministry of Defence from Flight Lieutenant Adam promoting Stress Awareness Month 2022. And he describes anxiety pretty well. To quote, "I woke up one day ready to go to work, and then I realised I wasn't very ready to go to work at all. And I pretty much found myself in my bed at 4:30 in the morning, and I felt like I'd fallen off a cliff. I just couldn't process anything. I didn't want to get out of bed. My mind was completely racing with what felt like very trivial anxiety at the time, and I was worried that I was under-prepared for the trip that I was going to go and do that day. And it just very quickly escalated in my own head to the point where I just felt completely overwhelmed by literally everything. And it reminds me that a wise man once said, "What the world needs most is openness. Open hearts, open doors, open eyes, open mind, open ears, open soul." And people who are open tend to pursue new adventures, experiences, are more willing to embrace new things. And it was Sir David Attenborough who once served in the Royal Navy, a naturalist who has seen in his lifetime, in 1937, the population at 2.3 billion, carbon at 280 parts per million, remaining wilderness around the world at 66%, to in 2020, the population 7.8 billion, carbon 415 parts per million, and the remaining wilderness around the world now at 35%. Sir David Attenborough without political radicalisation, complaining or getting angry. And it's so nice at the age of 94, he can look back and acknowledge how lucky he was to have lived a fabulous life. But if he had climate change anxiety, I'm not sure he could have pulled through. It's almost like he makes us fall in love with nature, fall in love with the animals, the plants. And once upon a time, long, long ago, when townspeople started to get strange symptoms, They finally realised the damage of the smokestacks of the factory were doing to them. Even though the factory employed so many of them, provided for their family, they realised they had to shut the factory down so they could start breathing again, get their health back, because what's the point of having a good job if the way you're thinking about things is making you sick? And the wilderness is at both ends of the earth, both the Arctic and Antarctic. And Sir David Attenborough, in his book A Life on Our Planet, the planet is now 0.8 degrees warmer than when he was born. And the last time the Earth was this warm, there was less ice. But once the ice starts to melt and it gets going, it's harder to stop. And the algae sits under the ice, providing sustenance for marine life. Seals, whales, polar bears, birds. And if polar bear cubs don't have enough food, they might not be able to survive an entire winter. The whole population of polar bears would collapse. Tipping points like this abound in nature. A threshold is reached with little warning. Sudden radical changes that stabilize at re-altered states. Reversing the tip is challenging. And how clients get themselves in a muddle is not being able to make the distinction of what they can and can't control. And there have been so many tipping points in your life. Outgrowing shoes, losing too much weight or gaining, growing too tall, so clothes could no longer fit you. An everyday task like carrying groceries, how many to fit in a bag, how many flights of stairs you choose to tackle, tipping points of comfort, pleasure, pain. And you can decide internally what you love about life. And isn't it just easier to listen to someone who's passionate and loving about nature than those that complain? There's a balance, a tipping point. Getting it just right. And isn't it wonderful to know the next time and each time you become aware of climate change, you can remind yourself how open you can choose to be. To say yes or no, depending on what's best for you, and feeling stronger as a result. Because you just never know how many things you will fall in love with in the future. When you're ready to reorient yourself back to your external world. You can stretch out, wriggle your fingers and toes, feel a twinkle in your eyes. Welcome back. You're perfect, just as you are.